How you doing? Looks like
Hey,
everything's lagging up for us today already, and it's the site. It's not my stuff, but I'm Mike. I'm the new guy with Even Putting Games, and we're here to do Systems Overload.
I'm Jimmy St. James, and I am one of the design guys, systems design team aficionado slash chill guy at Even Footing Games.
And this is Systems Overload. We're going to get together. We get together the last few weeks and a few weeks to come, talking about game design. Right now, the potential system as it pertains to Los Demonios is in beta testing. We're running play tests, so that's what we're here to talk about for the most part. But Jim, tell them a little bit about what we do at Even Playing Games.
We are a group of friends and game designers, writers, and editors, and business folks who all enjoy playing fun games. So we decided to get together and make some games that we would enjoy playing, and we thought you might like to play them too.
Uh, we make games that people get a kick out of.
Oh, that's the title.
And those games currently are Babies and Broadswords. You can find that at Amazon.com as well as Drive Through RPG. You can get a
Yeah,
physical copy.
we also have some support for that, where we've released a couple of modules
Yep.
for Babies and Broadswords. You know what those modules are, Mike?
I know the one I was getting ready to talk to. It is the 100 Acre Heist. It's a Babies and Broadswords literary adventure based on the Winnie the Pooh original book, I guess. I don't think it was a
It
series.
is based on the book, yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
not the cartoon.
Yeah, the book.
The cartoon's good though too. I like it very
Yeah.
much. It
Yeah,
was
man.
huge for me as a child, so it was really cool seeing Jason write all this Winnie the Pooh stuff.
It's
I
super
really
cool,
liked it.
man. I enjoy it. And Babies and Broadswords as well is fun to play. It's a great way to get new players involved, as well as if you're a veteran player. Pardon me. And you're getting a little bit worn down by the slog and the grittiness and the blood and grit of some of the other TTRPGs out there, and need a little bit of lighthearted break. Babies and Broadswords is the way to go, man. It's nice, it's relaxing, it's fun to play. Get together with your friends and give it a try. There's a quick start, I want to say, as well
Yeah,
on
yeah. There's a quick start. It's for
Drive
free.
Through RPG. Yep, can't beat that. While we're here and before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to some of our friends. We have some friends over at Abstract Adventures. They are a D&D podcast making everything up as they go. Every city, every encounter, and even the cast of player characters have all been left up to the fate of the dice. So join them every Friday for cozy storytelling, relentless puns, and unpredictable adventures. And that's Abstract Adventures.
Paddler. Paddler's the best. He's a charisma 9 bard Kenku or something. It's so good. It's
That
so yeah.
that's interesting and entertaining.
It was yeah. It's definitely entertaining. Without further ado,
We need
now you were
cues.
talking earlier about babies and broadswords being if you are tired of the blood and the slog and the nitty gritty and the
Yeah,
darkness.
yeah. I play it in your games, Jim. I don't know what to
If
tell
you
you.
if you if you are if you can't get enough of that stuff, we've been beta testing the City of Demons game.
Yes. The City of Demons. I've known
It's
me and Jim have known each other for some time now, and we've gamed together for quite a bit. But we're here to talk about Los Demonos today.
Demonios.
God damn.
Got it right the first time.
Yeah, demonios. I can't look at it while I try to say it. Is what I try to think of your voice as I say it. But that is a gritty, dark, scary city. Why don't we just start with? I know we went over it before, but just in case anybody's new and showed up to take a look at what we're doing here, is go ahead and give us a little bit of overview on what the City of Demons is.
An overview of the City of Demons. Um, it is. How about this? I told you a while back I was going to go through this beginning part, like give a
Yeah.
taste of like the hook that that
Hmm.
Jason was our writer is so kind to come through and write this beautiful piece. Los Demonios never sleeps. It waits and it hungers. In this city steeped in crime and shrouded in mystery, drugs open strange doorways, and the occult festers like a wound in the soul. Thugs and gangsters make their plans by moonlight, while spirits and demons stalk the shadows for prey. You will take on the role of a criminal on the haunted streets of Los Demonios. You lay your life and soul on the line every single night. Will you fight your way through gangland violence, guns blazing, sanctified bullets? Or will you uncover some long-dead occult secret, trading your humanity for just another piece of power? Or will you ultimately succumb to the degradation of the streets, selling your soul for one more fix?
It's gritty. It's definitely not. It's definitely. I don't know. Want to say NC-17, but it's for bigger kids. It's a great setting. It's a city. It's full of gangs. It's full of life. To be honest with you, it may be chaotic life, but hey, life can be chaotic. You know what I mean?
Well, my life is, and it reflects in the game, I suppose.
My life is too, man.
Not funny.
It's getting too real here.
Yeah, City of Demons. This is definitely this is a test game that we may come out with in the future here at Even Footing Games, but it has been wonderful for testing all of the wonderful pieces that I made for. Well, Jason actually helped, and so did some of the rest of our team make these pieces for the potential system, because the potential system is based on the Babies and Broadsword system that Jason came up with, and then I got my hands on and was able to manipulate a little bit. And then we turned it into this, of course. So it's
well, you need something to play test the rule set and be able to modify it. And it was kind of an alpha, the beginnings of play testing. How long you did that for? A couple months, I think.
4
before,
months.
Yeah,
a little, maybe just a shade over 4 months.
4 months. So here, very recently, that phase, that beginning phase of testing, alpha, as it were, has ended, and things have starting to get really pared down to what the players are interested in, and trim out some of the fat as it stands currently, using players' input. Essentially,
yes.
You've had fairly intimate playtesting sessions. I know that I was in one group playtesting it with the alpha, and then you had some other ones, and you got a lot of good information from that, as well as you were able to do the developer spotlight at Magpie Games, which I'm sure lit up a little bit of illumination on which direction to go with the next phase that we're starting now.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it that not only were my players at home a big part of it, but then I had players online, and I've had some of our lovely Patreon. I can never think of the name of that thing. The Patreon. Some of our lovely Patreon folks came on as well, and some fans online that I had never met before gave me some great feedback. But that developer spotlight really playing it with people let me know that I think alpha phase is over and it needed to move on to the beta phase.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe I should have taken a beta version of this game to that test. But they run those, I think, every month or two. So I may go back out and try to get some of the people who played before interested in seeing what the new one is like. Maybe pick up some new people. And obviously, you had a chance. You were the first person to have a chance to try the beta version. You and a couple of people who hadn't played the alpha version, and one player we had has barely ever role played. What did he say? I played a session and a half.
Yeah, yeah. It was, and what he's talking about. Pardon me. We were able to do some playtesting yesterday to get it. We got a new gang together and we're going to be talking about that now. But yeah, he's like, yeah, this guy's new. He's played like a session and a half, and man, it is streamlined to the point where he was able to pick it up. A very novice TTRPG person and run with it.
Yeah, it was really fun watching him. At first not really get what was happening, and then within 30 minutes, we all had characters together, and a gang was forming, and we were just about ready to play. And
Hmm.
then I could see the gears start to click in everybody's head as we went through the process of jumping into character. It's like all of that confusion and all of
Hmm.
the weirdness went away.
Well, in any time when you're introducing a new, and it's not just because of play testing. Anytime that you're bringing someone new or a new system to someone, there is that need to describe how the system works as you're building the character. I know when I
Yeah.
was introducing my wife and my son into role-playing games, it was like, okay, these are what these numbers mean. This is what we're going to do with this. This is how this works. This is how this works, kind of thing. So there's that trepidation in the beginning, but boy, with the new pared down, with the changes that you've made, character creation was much different than I had experienced before, and it was good for the new player. I really think, as well as another more veteran player that we had. He picked it up really easy as well, and we
Oh
both
yeah,
know
he has
he's
no
not a
problem.
rules guy.
Yeah, he doesn't like getting into too much nitty gritty in a game. So I think that a game like City of Demons is good for players like that. They
Yeah,
want something to put their hands on. If you
yeah.
want to be able to manipulate a system, to be able to work in a system, to be able to get some combos off and do some things to
Hmm.
set yourself up for your next move, this game is great for that. But you don't need to do that. It's
Yeah.
there for players who want to, and of course, you're going to have better results if you do get in and manipulate the system. But you can play just fine, just blowing your potential on everything.
Yeah, the I almost did that yesterday, to be honest with you, but
Oh, really?
I wanted to make sure those rolls went through. So let me tell everybody a little bit about. So we got this new gang together, and as we were starting, we were making it was the beginning of. I wouldn't really call it a session zero because the first time we got together, we were wanting to get in and get play testing. We got limited time, so we're all coming up with our character concepts at the same time. One of our guys came up with. He wanted to be like a. He said Eddie Edgelord, and I thought that was wonderful. But this like what is the magician? I want to say Chris
David
Hines.
Blaine. He kept saying
Da-
David Blaine.
David Blaine, yeah. There's like there's another one too that's out there like street musician. So it's like okay, cool. He's got that. I was
Chris
going
Angel, is that him?
Chris Angel, I think, is the one I was trying.
Yeah.
I was wanting to say Chris Isaacs.
Yeah, that's what I see him as, a Chris Angel type.
My concept was kind of like the professional hitman, kind of sniper, very quiet, reserved. And then the other, our new guy, he was wanting to be a hacker. So that was at first it felt kind of weird because we're forming a gang at the same time. So after our character concepts came together, it went into the gang because I want to talk about the gang first, and then I'll talk about my experience with the actual character creation because I think it'll be a little bit more in depth. But with the gang, we have a hacker, we have a street musician performer, and a mechanic slash hitman that doesn't really have any like outward personality at all. And there's like, well, of course we're going to run like a little magic, a tiny theater where we're able to, we're able to run money and whatnot. And it worked being able to be a gang with these, you didn't have to be a race car driver. You didn't have to be a muscle man. You didn't have to be, you know, a thug in order to make a gang. That's I guess what I'm trying to get to here.
Yeah, we had a couple of thugs there, but with the guy who wanted to be the Chris Angel type, what was I call? I can't remember what I call him. It was fun. It was fun because he made the character to kind of be made fun of a little bit,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
and and he just really leaned into that role with the small theater,
Mm-hmm.
bar,
Mm-hmm.
speakeasy type dueling piano place where he puts on comedic magic shows, and it really tied in with the setting really well. Even even when I we started, I incorporated it sort of into the story. I changed the way
Mm-hmm.
the story was going to start so that it would include your guys' club that you came up
Oh,
with.
one of the new things I really liked about the character creation, and this also goes into the gang development, is towards the end of the creation, you pick out you get a cohort, like a buddy or a contact that you know from your checkered past that you're bringing along with you. I thought that was a really cool addition, because you're starting off with a cohort, someone that you can lean on, and you'll be able to get pluses for their speciality, and but you're able to come up with what they do on their own. So I mean, there's that narrative, the narrative, being able to build it, being able to build your character's narrative. I thought was really cool.
Yeah, so now it's broken down instead of having to pick these multiple types of characters and then kind of meld them together to make one. I was going for a very abstract thing before where you were making like this always cross-class feeling character. And for
Mm-hmm.
some people that was a little bit strange and they couldn't kind of wrap their head around it. Other
Mm-hmm.
people loved it and were like, wow, that's such a neat idea. I'm a hitman burglar type. So I sneak and I kill. And that gave
Mm-hmm.
them their skills. It gave them their kind of personality.
Yeah.
But now we've taken that away a little bit and set and really chose the roles that people wanted. I polled everyone who played and made characters and asked what they thought of the system, what they thought of the character roles they could choose. And I kept the best 7 out of, I think I had 18 roles.
Mm-hmm.
Kept the best 7 and added a couple that people had asked about that weren't in the game. And among those roles that were asked about that weren't in the game was the smuggler
Mm-hmm.
and the fence. So those are added in, or they're in the process of being added. They aren't
Mm-hmm.
quite finished yet.
Mm-hmm.
I took the time to change everything over to the new version of the game as I was trying to build those. So you choose that one role now, just one role.
Yeah.
And you also choose a code,
Mm-hmm.
a personal code.
Yep.
And the personal code is like a little bit of a motto that you live by that
Mm-hmm.
helps represent who you are, and it's where you get your bonus as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be, if you choose might make right, then you get a bonus to brawn,
Yep.
and then you choose some things based on that of motivation. People who are strong are typically motivated by things that strong people are motivated by. They like a chance to shine, and with your job or your role, you're choosing some of your fears. A lot of vocations have very specific fears that go with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, like Mike was talking about, you choose your checkered past. Your checkered
Mm-hmm.
past gives you connections to Los Demonios.
Yes.
And these are connections by the ways of fears and motivations to other gangs, magic, creatures, strange events, occurrences that may have happened in your past, things
Mm-hmm.
that freak you out about the city, as well as a motivation in the same way. Maybe someone who helped you along the way, maybe you're friends with them, or maybe you actively avoid somebody because
Yes.
it would just lead to a bad situation.
Yes. And that was one of the fears I took, with the checkered past part was, I'd done one of the gangs dirty, kind of left during a job, and now he's kind of trying to rebuild his reputation, but at the same time avoid this gang altogether. Hasn't even contacted them. It's the totally ghosted them. So whenever they're around, my character is staying in the background, trying not to be seen or heard.
And so whenever you hear us talk about motivations and fears, these are
Mm-hmm.
potential drivers. They are ways for you to earn potential or what we use as experience in the game. So if you have a fear, say a fear of witches, maybe something in your past, there was a witch that you encountered, something bad happened surrounding these events. So you have this just built in fear of witches. They hearing about them sets you on edge. Why would you want that in a city, Mike? Why would you want to be afraid of witches in a city where
In the
witches are
city,
around you?
yeah, well, it's fun to role play,
It
partly,
is.
and two, I mean, it builds into just character development. I mean, this is more a narrative style game, and everybody's got together to tell a cool story. You want to play a really cool character in that story, so that's what I look at it.
Another thing is you want to choose something you're going to encounter often as a fear because it
Hmm.
is the best potential driver you have. It's going to earn you more potential than anything else on your page
Hmm.
if your character faces those fears
Hmm.
and overcomes them.
And because it's on the sheet, it's part of your character now. Your host, your DM or GM or narrator or what are we calling the
I
potential
I just call it GM for now. I don't
GM?
know. Maybe we'll call it the Underworld Master or something. I don't know.
So like the Don.
Street Master, the
Or
Don.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It's very cool. The
I don't know. That may
Don.
be a little weird. But yeah, but so this is listed on your sheet. So now, as you are, as the story's unfolding, you definitely have things that you can throw at the players. That's one gonna improve gameplay, improve character growth, and give them XP. So that's really cool as well. I know that some systems, not bad talking or naming any of them, but that's kind of like a blurb, it's kind of like, okay, now fill out the rest of your character and where you're from, and people, nothing wrong with writing a 3-page backstory, but if it's not
If
utilized
only
on
the
that character,
GM sees.
yeah, that only the GM sees, when it's part of your character, part of your makeup, and part of your honestly reward system, you're going to want to lean into it a bit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And motivations are the same way.
Hmm.
Motivations, there's a track that every time you do something to push toward those motivations or participate in those motivations. What was one of your motivations, Mike?
One of my motivations is always be prepared.
Always be prepared. So if this character gets into a situation where they feel like they had what it took, they had the
Hmm.
tools for the job, they had the skills to get it done, we can talk about whether or not that triggers Mike's character's motivation. And once you collect 5 yeses there and you mark
Hmm.
off the 5 little boxes, you score several potential. So it's a nice earner as well. It's just a little slower than the fears. The fears, when you hit them, they're big plot moments for your
Yeah,
characters, so they
yeah.
can reward more quickly and more potential over time.
And with that as well, you have more than one motivation and more than one fear. So I think you start with
Two
two
of each.
motivation. Yeah, because my other motivation is to be professional. Actually, because he's trying again. He did wrong. He realizes it, and now this is how he's going to make money. So he's got to be there. He's got to be the professional now.
Wants
He's
to
got to.
look the part, act
Yeah,
the
he
part,
wants to
talk
be the
the part.
part. Yeah, enough.
The
It's
big
time to
cheese.
grow up. Yeah, it's time to grow up.
That's cool.
Screwed up. Let's move on. So, and being able to do that will be cool because that'll run right in with dealing with. I'm looking forward. The gang that I did wrong was the Sunset. What was it? Sunset something.
Sunset Posse or something.
Yeah, the Sunset Posse, and they're like old school gangsters. So I'm looking forward to being able to deal with that, confronting the fears, along with my motivations of now trying to be this upstanding criminal. Can you be an upstanding criminal? I guess there is a
Among
thieves code.
criminals?
Yes, among
Sure.
criminals. So that's going to be fun to play with.
It's sort of a
I'm
redemption arc the way that you have it
Yeah,
set up. I
yeah,
really like
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. Well, and that brings in, and I'm here, so I'm gonna harp about my character. that brings us back into the checkered past because coming into this new gang, he brought a female, Sammy. She's younger. She's very fast talking, so helps my character get out of some jams just by saying, "Oh, don't listen to him. He's older. He doesn't know. He's sorry." Blah blah blah. So I would get pluses to those kind of interactions, social interactions, and as well, I wanted to bring more of a mystic kind of thing with her. That she always has a sixth sense. So anytime there's a big question, or maybe it's kind of like, okay, well, which wire do we cut?
Get a
Maybe she
little
will
luck bonus there,
get a
kind
little
of.
luck bonus. Yes.
I can dig it.
It's,
And so yeah, the I was going to come back to talk about the gang a little bit, the way
mm-hmm,
that the gang came together through the character creation
mm-hmm,
process. It's what it's meant to do. It's meant to sort of, as long as you take characters, I try to design it this way, but if you try to take characters that are balanced in the group, so three is the ultimate best number, I think, to play this game with a GM,
mm-hmm,
because you can take a character who has physical things that they're good at, a character who
mm-hmm,
has mental things they're good at, and a character who has the attitude down. They're called
mm-hmm.
grit, cunning, and attitude.
Yep.
So if you have one of each, then your grit characters tend to get angry when they're upset, and you have other characters who get stressed, and you have characters who get afraid. And so you have that nice balance of interactions in your group, and you have characters who can actually help one another, not only in a physical confrontation or a mental
Mm-hmm.
confrontation or an argument, not only in that way, but in case someone gets hurt. It's a well-rounded group, just like if you're playing many other games. But not only that, it also, you have all of the pieces that you need to make a functional gang. I can't see a way to choose one of each of the three and have in your group to where it doesn't make some kind of sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only, so let me think of how I would try to break this is, well, everybody takes the same thing, but you know what? That's just a very specialized gang. They're
It
all
is.
very good at the exact same thing. So I could foresee.
And there are gangs in Los Demonios like that, very much so.
So,
So
oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, a lot of them have themes, so they're going to be good at, the one of my favorites, and well, maybe it's one of my favorites because it's been the one kind of talked about, and the on the Los Demonios news is the Diamondbacks, where they're like this very flashy, posh stunt gang kind of. They do big
yeah,
flashy things, and it's really cool. Then I've had dealings with. Personally through playtesting, a more MC motorcycle club type gang. It's more of what you would see on the show, like
was it Sons of Anarchy?
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
Yeah, more
yeah, they do have that vibe. Yeah,
just a more like MC feel. That's been fun to deal with. Those, and then our gang. I think our gang is our gang. I'm thinking back to the old like black and white, Spanky and Alfalfa, our gang. But you know what? It's viable. It's cool, and we're having fun. So
it's really cool. It's very interesting and unique. Eric, one of the guys playing, who came up with the concept for your kind of gang and clubhouse or whatever.
yeah.
He's just a very creative guy, so it's really fun having such creative people when we do this beta test.
Oh yeah.
So walking away from it, me as a GM and me as the system designer, the creator of Los Demonios, I can't take all the credit for creation. Obviously, the backbone of the game is something that Jason helped design, and
Yeah.
then also the story itself of Los Demonios, City of Demons, was myself and a couple of friends just sitting around spitballing ideas for what a setting could be, which I wrote in response. So, all that being said, that's a long-winded way, just coming back around full circle, is it's interesting for me as a designer to see you actually have a chance, the first person to play from alpha to beta, and you're going to get the first chance to really see how this game moves forward and
Hmm.
see how the combos are going to work, how the conflict breakdown is going to work, how that's going to work in the interactive or in the narrative as well.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I'm really excited for that, and we're going to get to talk about it here for all of you lovely
Yeah.
folks.
I will talk about it
Just
and talk about it and talk about it.
come. Thanks for
Sorry,
being here,
I didn't mean
all
to cut you off, Jim.
10 of the people or 8 people who watch, whatever it is.
Hey, man, that's cool,
83.
man.
I don't know how many it is.
That's cool. It's like I have fun just hanging out and talking with you, Jim, and talking about the game. So I just want everybody to come on by and listen to what we're talking about. I had a ball, and I'm glad to be able to see that. Now I'm a video gamer. Okay, I have played games when they came out in alpha, and just stuck with them for months and months and months because video game development is a lot of similarities. But a lot of differences. So you'll see, graphically, I'm getting to see that kind of thing in in a TTRPG, and it's cool as shit. And I got to say, and this isn't blowing smoke as well. The character creation, super more streamlined this time around. I wish we could get out more stuff to people and let them play. So you know what? In the chat, I have made sure that there is a Discord invite. There's one on the bottom of the screen as well. If you're watching it right now, if you're watching it later, join our Discord at Even Footing Games. We'd love to have you a part of the Discord. We kind of hang out, talk a lot about podcasting, and definitely a ton about TTRPGs. But that's going to get your foot in the door in getting involved in some of the future projects that we may have. And we'd love to have
Yeah,
you there.
we're in developing this system and developing the game City of Demons. I am looking for more playtesters, folks who want to sit down and try this game in beta now, where it's not going to go through a mountain of huge changes anymore.
Hmm.
It's going to be simpler changes that are just going to simply balance the game out or make it feel
Hmm.
like it's working a little bit more smoothly. There might be a couple little bugs there in the numbers, but I think we're really doing pretty well in that department. So if you want to come out and try City of Demons, go through, make a character, play a game or two, get in a one shot, we'd love to have you try it out.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Let's see, what else did we? Let's see, we got through. So after we got our gang together, just to kind of flavor what the game's kind of about. So we got our gang together. We got our gang house, which is this small kind of hole in the wall theater. We started off with a phone call. The phone rings. Of course, Eric, the Eddie is the character he was playing. Eddie
The
being
gang leader.
the yes, exactly.
No
The
one
gang
said
leader.
it, but that's what happened.
He's the guy that gets on the stage. I'm the guy that works behind the stage, and then the keyboard guy works, I think, in an office. Maybe
Keystroke.
I get keystroke.
Great
He's
name.
got. Oh, I do have to mention keystroke. His idea, and this is the guy who has played 1.5 games. I thought they were. This is my first, and we're playing online, so it's over Discord, and it's like, I played 1.5 games. So he comes up with this concept of this hacker who used to be part of like NSA, and the guy that he brings to the game, the contact, is like Agent Smith. So I thought that was cool as hell too. It's like, oh yeah, man, we got a
It's
connection at
funny.
the government line somehow. But the phone rings, and our bravado boss stands up, and he's just giving it like, "What? Hello? Who is this? Ah, yeah, no, we get a lot of people here, and it's another gang. It's missing some of their gang members. Were last seen at our place like 3 days ago." And now it's our fault that they're missing, and it's like, and he's just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, I didn't click. It's like, yeah, we're screwed, we got to go find these guys. And it's like, how is this our fault? Did you get their names? Who are we looking for? He didn't say. And it's like, okay, well, and that's where we started. It was super fun, and Eric described it as like, okay, this is going to be like a Scooby Doo kind of thing, because we're all like sleuthing around. The the hacker had the idea to, okay, let's check the tapes. Apparently, I'll get to that. So we checked the the video recordings that we have, and sure enough, we find oh, here's the guys we're looking for, because they were Diamondbacks and they wear this really posh yellows and leather jackets, and it's when it was Saturday night. And it's like, okay, they go off with these two girls and they're in the back room and they're off camera. It's like, okay, so they didn't come out of there. We head to the back to do our investigations. It's 4 in the morning because it was after last call at our
After
place.
hours, yeah.
Yeah, and the City of Demons last call was like what, like 4 o'clock.
in the morning,
Yeah. It's like there's, I guess, there's like 1 hour where you're not allowed to drink. I guess, I don't know. Yeah. Or buy alcohol. It's called sober up hour.
It's called, stop drinking. You can start again after you sleep.
Yes, have a coffee, take a nap, and then come back. So we go in the back. We split up the team because it's like, oh, this is like Scooby Doo. It's like, okay, split up. All right, I'm taking the party rooms. I'm going backstage. Our boss says, and then the hacker is like, I guess I'm going in the basement. Have anybody been down here? We don't know who's here, who's hiding. We don't have a regular staff, so he's like going down the basement, shaking.
You guys regular staff, there's a bunch of thugs.
Yeah. He's like shaking. There's people missing. We don't know where they're at. Hell, they could be hiding, living here for all we know. It was fun, but it had an investigation part to it. It wasn't just hack and slash, peeling out on motorcycles or in cars. It really had an investigation feel, where we were able to use our skills, some of the skills that I had, some of the skills that the hacking skills of the keyboard keystroke. We were able to utilize those things. So don't think of City of Demons as or Los Demonios as all always thuggery. There's different ways to attack it. And it was really cool, Jim. I really had a good time. But we were able to find some clues, and that led us to a place of ill repute, where we had a bit of a social encounter.
They
And without
ended up
getting
with the two ladies that were accompanying the men and hanging out with them for the night, and one of the women didn't want to cooperate. One of them was showing signs of fear. She didn't really pass her cool check.
Yeah, well, this is where. Oh, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you, but I get excited because this is where I come in.
This is where so one of the guys starts to run interference with one of the. We got to split these two up because one of them is brash and is saying we don't need to talk to you. Who are you? And the other one's kind of like, oh, we don't know anything, and she's clearly scared. And so they split the two up. One character, Keystroke, I think it was, got her to. He took her attention elsewhere, and so then that left you with the one who seemed like she knew something.
Yeah. The one that was nervous. It was my stoic, more level-headed character, and then we had hey, there's Tommy. Then we had Eric's character, the more flamboyant, and there was like, oh, I don't know, blah blah. And it's like, listen, I got a tape of you walking these bad guys or these gang members in the back, and they don't come out, and you're sitting here like, I just want to know what happened, and I got their boss calling me, blaming me, and wanting to know what happened, and I'm gonna give their boss your number, because you're the ones that saw him last alive, and they're like, what's a tape? I guess it showed my. It's like like a cassette tape, like a videotape. Like,
she's
what's
like
going
20.
On? Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I told my wife that afterwards. She started laughing. She's like, "Yeah, that's kind of how it is."
Well, you mean like masking tape or Scotch tape?
But then Eric's character, Eddie the Magnificent, I think is what he was calling himself, was able to jump in, and that's where we were able to do a good cop, bad cop dichotomy in questioning this person, and that was a really cool thing as well, because it really played into our individual abilities. We were able to use those individual abilities. My character is about patience. His is about, sweet talking. So he's able to silver tongue, and I'm able to sit there and go like, listen, we got all day. I ain't going nowhere until you answer the questions, and that's how it went. I got ghosts.
You got ghosts in the house.
So
Yeah,
that was
ghosts.
really cool, man. I thought that was really cool. Just again, being able to use that flavor, those talents. Now, I'm going to chalk this up some to good GMing, Jim. I mean, you're an experienced GM, and you're
It's true.
aware of the characters, and you knew what you was building, and you're aware of the system. But is this going to be something that other GMs are going to be able to pick up and run with?
I think that kind of also due to popular demand, this is something that I've been asked quite a bit in the past, and I've in a former life, I gave GM advice for another game, and and I would love to do that for our system, our narrative heavy system that still has a lot of customization and a little bit of crunch. So I would love to give tips on how to DM Babies and Broadswords, City of Demons, Legacy Drive, future games that we have coming out, how to DM this type of game effectively. And so based on the story you just told, there's a couple of things at play here that a good GM should keep in mind. And I think that this holds true really for any game to make the players feel like they have a part in it, which is what City of Demons, the system itself is meant to do
Yeah.
mechanically,
Oh
is
yeah.
to throw the ball into your players.
Uh oh. I heard a snap, and then Jim's gone. Maybe I do have ghosts. Well, anyways, until when Jim returns with us, I'm sure he'll finish his thoughts. Oh, there he is.
Hey, my bag.
You're
Sorry,
back.
man.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
just
what
heard
happened
a
there.
pop, and then you was just like frozen on camera there for a minute.
Oh, yes. Did I have a stupid look on my face?
Well, it was ghosts, man. Remember, we just
Oh, it
referenced
was
the
the
ghost.
ghosts. Yeah, that happens in City
And,
of Demons too. You can't be helped. So to get back to, I don't know where I cut out, but to get back to what I was saying, some things, key takeaways for that first session. And City of Demons is really meant to do this. It's really meant to help your, like, throw the ball into your players' court sometimes and let them dictate how the story is going to go. Your potential is all about that, using it actively during a session in order to get the results you really want. That's why you spend your potential, so you can get the results in the story, move that story in the way you want. That's why we have motivations on our sheet. When you put a motivation down, what you're telling your GM, I'd love to play this game. When you
yeah.
put your fear down, you're telling your GM, I'd love to play this game. And if you have 2 or 3 players, that's really easy to handle. I highly recommend, if you're going to run a game like City of Demons, 2 or 3 players. Babies and Broadswords is a lot easier because you don't have really deep fears and really deep motivations. You simply have quirks. Babies who like to suck their thumb and babies who like to wet their pants and things like that. And that leads to a lot more comedy where when you're throwing the ball into your player's court, it's for a joke setup.
Yeah, yeah.
Your GM or your sitter is really setting you up for jokes at that point, and you get those layups to say you wet your pants or do a poop joke or something. Whereas in City of Demons, it's a little more difficult. I'm not going to lie. Years of GMing experience definitely helps, but having those things in front of you that your players want to experience is really cool. And listening to your players the way that they want to play, I picked up pretty quickly that this wasn't going to be the most serious game. You know, Eric made a lot of funny comments about his characters. Um, the new guy Nick, he made some really funny comments about his characters.
Yeah.
And as soon as we started playing the game, one-liners are flying around.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like, yes, there's going to be some serious moments, but in between those serious moments, we're going to have comedy. And then when we got to the point with the two ladies, when you were
Mm-hmm.
interrogating the two ladies, you saw the guy who was cracking wise all night jump into this very caring and like concerned
Yes.
mode,
Mm-hmm.
trying to convince her
Can
to talk.
Yes, yes. He was actually using like empathy to comfort her and say, "Hey, there's nothing to be scared of," kind of thing.
Which I
To
hadn't
get
thought
that
about using it
instrument. It was
in
a
the middle of a
shock to me as
conflict.
well.
Yeah,
Yep, yep. We talked
it
about
was
that a
really
little
cool.
bit afterwards. Yeah, that was a cool way to be able to use that, and that's what playtests are for, man. To find out those little things where you didn't think about it, and the guy that you're working with didn't think about it, and the guy who's writing it, didn't think about it. But you got a player that's picking it up and going,
Yeah,
"Hey, why don't I do this?" And that's a cool thing about that is a really cool thing about the narrative style gaming in TTRPGs. I really like. I enjoy it. But I also enjoy the fun, wisecracky kind of game. I don't know. No, I enjoy the babies and broadswords. That's man. I don't. It's not. It's less mature, but it's babies, baby.
it's babies.
I really like the wisecrack one liner kind of stuff too. I enjoy that, but I like to write funnier jokes and commercials. Anyways, so
So
long
yeah,
story short,
you know,
I had a ball.
yeah, it was fun, and we can talk about little tips that you can pick up on your players each week. And so, my tip is just go with the flow with your players, especially in a session
Hmm.
one, where the one-liners are flying back and forth. When they said this is going to be like Scooby Doo, and it was a little bit of a joke, but everybody was like, "Ah, yeah, this is cool. It does
Yeah,
feel."
yeah, and it was well, I was good with that, and Nick was good with that. So I'm sure that was flagging for you to say, okay, this is what they're
We'll
going
start
for.
off with a mystery rather than
Hmm.
these tense confrontations only that I
Hmm.
had planned. I have several tense confrontations where you're going to be using your mind and your attitude in order to try to outwit or pressure people into giving you what you want. And
Hmm.
with the kind of fun, interactive, investigative narrative going on from my players, that's going to really help color as we move forward. And then I can judge basically when they start to shift gears, my players, you and Nick and Eric, when you start to shift into something else away from simply jokes or simply following the story or simple investigative Scooby Doo,
Yeah,
because there's at some point somebody's gonna want to fire a gun, and at some point
yeah.
somebody's gonna want to break into a place or steal
Hmm.
something, and that'll be a different gear that we can easily move into with City of
Yeah,
Demons.
yeah, yeah. And so those player cues that you were able to get, as well as, and I can't speak to it enough, those fears and motivations laid out on the sheet. It's there to remind you right there, page one, fears and motivations. Those are like story writers, I would imagine that you'd be able to use on those.
Yeah, very much so. It tells
So,
me I didn't know for session one, obviously. That's why it's kind of a session zero or a primer. And we pick up on those character cues, and those are going to help me write for the next session what kind of things I think you guys might want to see based on your motivations, your fears, and things that happened in game, things that were
mhm.
said, things that were done. And we'll take it from there. And, as you confront these fears, it might get old to confront them over and over and over again. So if you feel like you found something new to be afraid of, you're allowed to take another fear. If you feel like, well, this fear is getting trite, I've
Yeah, yeah,
collected tons of potential from it, and
yeah. Well, I think that's the way it should be designed as well. Once you collect so much potential, and that may be something to add in there. It's like a limit to the amount of potential. It kind of forces you to change here because you've effectively overcame it.
yeah, and that's right now it's up to the player. It's very player driven.
Hmm.
If you get
Hmm.
tired of it, shuck it. but you have to take a new one, otherwise you're going to have fewer ways to earn potential.
Yes, yes. Sorry. I'm getting a bunch of messages all of a sudden. I've become very popular. I don't know what's happening.
Well, I'm getting messages from our producer. They're
it's,
giving me the old, uh,
uh,
you know,
it's time. So, long story short, come back. We'll be back next Thursday evening.
next Thursday.
You're good for next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are officially in the spooky season, so I want you to keep an eye out for. Yeah, it's September 1st. So I want you to keep an eye out for the next upcoming thing from Even Footing Games. That little bit of commercial that we had in the beginning is Crawl of Cthulhu. It's going to be out in the fall, is what I can say
In
safely.
the near future.
It will be out eventually.
Keep
So,
an eye on Even Footing Games on
and
all of your podcast catching apps and social medias. Join us. Play fun games with us.
man, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. You can just watch me. I'm here weekday mornings or weekday afternoons. We're at decaf here on Twitch. I don't do it on the YouTube, but on Twitch between 1 and 2 Eastern Standard Time. I'm here playing games, drawing, just goofing around, hanging out, basically letting people know what's going on today with Even Putting Games.
Sometimes making character sheets. Who knows? Whatever.
Sometimes making character sheets, yeah. That one though, I need like people to watch to catch my spelling. So because the last time, and you can watch it, it's in the VODs. I'm terrible speller, terrible spellster. I don't know, but anyways, it's fun. But you can watch me then, and I will tell you once I get a date for Crawl of Cthulhu. That's going to be fun.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow, yes. This Saturday is World Beard Day. So tomorrow on Afternoon Decaf, I'm going to do something beard related. I think I'm going to take pictures of something and put beards on them in Photoshop. I don't know. It'll be something fun and take up an hour. I've been playing a game. It's Immortals Phoenix Rising. Super fun.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a beard thing, like Beards and Bozos or something.
I'm gonna put beard on bozos, maybe. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just download a bunch of pictures. There's some AIs that generate random faces of people that don't exist. Maybe I will just work on my photo manipulation skills and slap beards on a bunch of people. So, but that'll be tomorrow. We got to get out of here. I want to make a few again. Abstract Adventures, D&D podcast, making everything as they go up. Every city, every encounter, even the cast of player characters have been left up to the fate of the dice. Join them every Friday for cozy storytelling, relentless puns, and predictable adventures. Unpredictable adventures. And you can listen to them anywhere podcasts are listened to. Jim, tell them a little bit about our podcast, because we
also have a podcast, Babies and Broadswords. The first season was 26 episodes of pure baby fun, and then we went into our current season, season 2 of Even Footing Games presents Avatar Legends, where our artist Jack, who's a terrific storyteller, or I think a lore master is what he calls himself in the Avatar Legends game, runs them. These player characters, these benders and weapons masters, on an adventure to a library, which is some pretty cool stuff going on in there as well. And soon we have we're supporting the new Crawl of Cthulhu, so we got a spooky season of Babies and Broadswords.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
I'm going to be involved in that. Jason is going to be the sitter, and we're going to have a whole cast of babies come, brand new babies you've never seen before, babies the likes of which have never been seen at Footing Games ever in the past.
As spooky babies.
Spooky babies. Babies meant to be spooked.
Man, I can't wait till people can get their hands on the book. It's such fun. It's such a good read. If you like art and stuff, man, it's very cool. But yes, Even Footing Games, we do have podcasts, so you can listen to us anywhere you listen. You can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. I know on our YouTube channel, if you want to find out a little bit more about Babies and Broadswords, like how to make a character or something on this, I think we have videos there that you can look
We do.
and learn
Indeed.
how to play. So I'm Mike. I'm the new guy at Even Footing Games.
I'm Jimmy St. James, and I'm the mechanics guru, game design, yeah, chill guy at Even Footing Games.
And we thank you for watching. You guys have a good evening.